but someone knows something, yet everyone plays ball. I say we round them all up. Let's brain fingerprint them all.
Hello everybody, this is Eric Jose on Making a Murderer on YouTube. I cover the Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey cases, but also as time passes I've been covering other cases such as the Staircase or OJ and many wrongful convictions of youth. I go over the documents, the photos, the videos, anything case related. So stay tuned because I have many more videos just like the one you're about to see. Hello, how you doing there, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Leo R. Some of you may have been hearing me talk about Leo R. here in a couple videos recently. I didn't intend to be doing more videos, but the situation continues to get more interesting. I don't know if Leo R. is, involved necessarily at this point, but there's a lot of strange things happening. I think there's a distinct possibility that law enforcement used the tactics that they used on Josh Redant, possibly used on this guy, and I'll explain at the end of the video why I think that might be. So most of you at this point have probably heard the dispatch call of Leo R. calling into dispatch, reporting the fact that on the night of November 4 of 2005, that he believes Teresa Halbach came to his door looking for another house in the area. Okay. So this call, the dispatcher obviously takes the call. Keep in mind, on November 4th, it's still a missing persons investigation. Well, it's supposed to be a missing persons investigation still. Those of you who are savvy and in the know and have watched a few of my videos where I've shown it before, you know that Stephen was being reported to the FBI as a murder suspect on the 3rd. So there is some weirdness, but we'll move beyond that. Most people will agree that on November 4, Teresa Halbach was still a missing person, and people should have very damn well been looking for her, following any lead in the hopes that it would lead to her, right? Just my kind of sensibilities about it. Okay. So in this call, he calls and says that he saw Teresa on November 4th. The dispatcher then goes to pass this information on to Mark Wiegert, the lead investigator. And when she's telling him about this, he basically has just like no interest. He just like tells her, note it, or log it, and then just yeah, that's it, just leave it, or whatever. And it's like no big deal to him. Somebody's calling in and they think they saw Teresa on the 4th, and he acts like he's completely uninterested. Very interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and play that call for you now, and then we'll come on back.
Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, I'm calling with, I might have some information for you on this young lady you're searching for.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Leo.
Okay. And your phone number, Leo?
Phone number is 755.
Where's that out of 755?
It's the Michigan phone number. I live in the Larrabee area.
Okay. And what type of information is it?
Well, last night when I was watching the TV at around 11:30 or so, somebody knocked on my door, and they were looking for a home in my area here.
Okay.
And I think it was her. I seen her picture on the internet. My wife just got it up for me, and that's a good possibility. I think that was who was at my door last night.
Okay. What I'll do is I'm going to have an investigator that's working this give you a call, okay?
Okay.
And that's a 920 area code, right? 755?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for the information, Leo, and an investigator will be calling you.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure, bye.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Mark.
Hey, Mark, it's Lori.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got a call from a man from Michigan.
Yeah.
He says he thinks that last night a lady came to his door, knocked on his door, and when he answered it, that it was Teresa Hallbuck.
Write it down, note it. I will deal with it when I get back.
Okay, because otherwise I got his phone number, so.
I don't have time for it right now, and I don't think that's the case. But what did she want? She asked for help?
She was looking for directions.
Okay, don't worry about it. Just log it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay, so there you have a Leo R calling dispatch, saying that he thinks he saw Teresa at his house on the 4th, the night of the 4th. Okay? Seems pretty convinced that he saw Teresa. Doesn't necessarily mean he did, but that's besides. You know, let's just move on past that real quick. He's pretty convinced. Teresa is still a missing person. And then Mark Wiegert has just basically little to no interest, while Teresa's still a missing person. Yeah. So it's interesting. So we know that there's no official follow-up with Leo because it's not anywhere in case anywhere to be found. There's no official follow-up with Leo. But I suspect that maybe there was some kind of unofficial follow-up with Leo. And let me show you right now where Leo lives in regards to this entire situation. And then we'll come on back. Okay, so we're looking at a map here, and that is Kuss Road. Okay? That's the Kuss Road, infamous Kuss Road, right? That is the residence of Leo R. I'm mousing over there with the green circle. Okay, so he lives very close to the area where this all went down, apparently. So that's just interesting. That right there with the blue circle, that's the supposed burial site that was found by Michael Bushman, who came out of retirement 2 days after Mr. Leo R's call into dispatch. 2 days later, he's out of retirement. He's over there finding that blue circle. And what the red circle is over there, that red circle, that's the deer camp. So that's how close together all this stuff is. And I just thought that was kind of interesting about this. And then not to mention the fact that, you know, Michael Bushman, Ken Peterson, the Manitowoc County Sheriff, you know, best bud, good bud, basically, comes out of retirement 2 days after Leo's call and goes over and finds a suspected burial site over where that blue circle is. All the cadaver dogs, you know, were going all around Kuss, this road, this area. They were leaving Avery Salvage to all come down into this area. Just something interesting, you know, to think about. But anyway, we know that this call came in and Mark Wiegert was pretty much uninterested in it. And we also know that we don't have any follow-up in case or anywhere to look where they went and talked to this guy to prove him to prove that he was like a fruitcake or whatever. Nothing. There's nothing. So that's what's interesting about this. The proximity of everything. You know, the interesting little tidbit of Michael Bushman coming out of retirement and being the one to discover this suspected burial site over there, and then the fact that the deer camp is right there. So where the red circle is. So interesting stuff. So let's move on. Okay, so those are just some of the interesting things about the proximity of events and the residence of Leo R. and the fact that Mark Wiegert wasn't really very interested in the lead, and, you know, just some very odd things, you know, right? You know, and that's what I originally had pointed out with my last video about Leo, right? But now I have another little tidbit that is making me kind of do a head scratch here. And I suspect it's probably going to make some of you do a head scratch on this. So I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to go ahead and play it. This is my good buddy Mark Hodnott, okay? Last year, him and I were at Raleigh in June of 2018. I was not able to stay as long as him. I had to get back home for work on Monday and stuff, but he ended up staying the week, and he stayed a lot longer than I did. And he ended up going over, and he was on Kuss Road one day. He was just driving down Kuss Road, you know, taking a look around, you know, just driving around the area and kind of getting, you know, just absorbing the whole area, right? He was driving down Kuss Road, and he said a guy came out on a golf cart and, like, you know, pulled up and, like, said, you know, hey, what are you doing, or whatever, to him. And, you know, I guess he had slowed down or whatever, but the guy said, hey, you know, what are you doing, or whatever. And so Mark was just started talking to him. And Mark's going to explain right now the conversation.
I just had an interesting little meeting. I'm at the end of Kuss Road, and some neighbour guy came up called Leo, came up and on his little almost like golf cart type thing, and asked me what I was doing. So, and he proceeds to tell me, he says, you know, just over the other side of the quarry over there used to be a place on the hill there at Avery's. That's where they murdered her, right over there. And I go, really? Is that what happened there? He goes, yeah, you can kind of see it. Definitely not one of on our side of the books anyway.
So maybe you see what I mean here, because it now seems like Leo has a whole completely different idea about things. Okay, so it leaves me asking, you know, okay, so which is it, Leo? Teresa Halbach showed up at your door on November 4th, or she was killed up there at the Averys? You can kind of see it. Which, I mean, which one? Anyways, that is basically what leads me to believe that this guy may have been browbeat in a similar fashion, that they in a similar way that to what they tried to do with Josh Radant, in the way that they tried to browbeat him about his account of the fire and all that stuff. So maybe they were using those same methods with Leo R. And as I suggested before, maybe it was off the record. It was completely off the record, because there is no follow-up with Leo R. That I mean, I cannot remember anywhere of a follow-up or any kind of talking with a guy named Leo R. So, anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to show everybody that. I mean, it's just, to me, a very odd thing that Leo R today, in current day and age here, that's in the present, is very, very much convinced that Teresa was killed at the Averys. He even goes as far as to tell Mark, you can kind of see it. Yeah. That's very odd. That's all I'm going to say, folks. I'll let you guys make of it what you will, but to me, my buddy Mark sent me that clip today, and he goes, check this out, Eric Jose, and I watched it, and my jaw dropped. I was just like, what? I couldn't believe it. It was, yeah, truly, truly amazing. Anyways, that's about it for this one, folks. You gotta wonder what was happening over on Kuss Road at this point. I know I am. I know those dogs were. I know Zellner is. I know Kuss Road somehow is involved in this. It would seem so at this point, anyways. Kuss Road is somehow maybe at the center of all this. So, anyways, that's about it for today. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you.
Let's keep talking about Avery. Yeah, let's keep talking till he's set free. Oh, you just listen, I think you'll see why it matters. Oh, really matters. Put aside the documentary, the state's version ludicrosy. Oh, all their claims so blatantly eventually get torn to tatters. I think that matters. I bet you heard about Hood Lad sweating, but maybe you ain't heard this yet. 19 more times the DNA that was left anywhere else that day. I think that matters. I really do, I think it matters. An ex-boyfriend with a day planner page, and yet they did not investigate. And who knows why, and who can say why he was signed into the crime scene that day. I think that matters. I really do, I think it matters. About the barrel that once was seized, but then returned to the Averys. The bones were found the next day, but not one photograph exists of where they lay. I think that matters. I really do, I think it matters. I could go on listing things off, 80 more things. I just keep on singing these songs till every freedom rings. I said it matters. It really, I know it matters. It could be you, I think it matters. It could be me, I know it matters. Work with Casey, it matters. I said it matters. It really matters.
How do you pay a debt for someone you owe 36 million? You don't, it might as well be a gajillion. Oh, this is what you do. You charge the one you owe with murder. The debt goes to. Now first, you gotta have a body. I don't know how you get it, but I know it is nutty. Find that car that body drove. Park the car in the yard. Throw the body in the stove. Now this part, overemphasize I can. You got to have law enforcement that likes to plan. Oh, I mean not botany, talking bone, blood, bullets, a car and a key. How do you pay a bill for someone you owe 36 million? You don't, it might as well be a gajillion. Oh, this is what you do. You charge the one you owe with murder. The debt goes to. Now you cook that body up, all well done. Just leave some pieces out for identification. Like the tibia, he's at 23. Oh wait, some of you ain't following me, but this brings me to an important part of the scheme. You got to own the lab and forensics team. Pick one out, the dullest knife. Get her to deviate from protocol, first time in her life. How do you pay a bill for someone you owe 36 million? You don't, it might as well be a gajillion. Oh, this is what you do. You charge the one you owe with murder. The debt goes to. Can't go into detail, it would take too long. This would end up being a 10-part, a docu-song. So just give it to you, oh, in porn form. Do all these things and you can toot your horn. You first have to get a kid to confess to the story you feed them. Block all the officers from following evidence where it leads them. Tell the media things that don't make sense. Don't worry, they don't ask questions, they just nod their heads. You gotta block the coroner from the scene. You got to beware now, dogs that are mean. Lose all the cameras, no, don't take a shot. Multi-label everything, everything you got. You gotta keep all the evidence locked up safe. If anything gets broken, fix it with scotch tape. And repeat, repeat, repeat. The bones were intertwined, the wires from the ties. Yeah, repeat that lie. How do you pay a bill for someone you owe 36 million? You don't, it might as well be a bajillion. Oh, this is what you do. You charge the one you owe with murder, the debt goes to. Say you get away with all this stuff, but 10 years later you just don't have enough. Go write a book, try to cash in, don't worry about the ethics, there's none in Wisconsin. Cause if there are, you would have been jailed and sued from all the domestic violence victims that you abuse. How do you pay your bill for someone you owe 36 million? You don't, it might as well be a gazillion. This is what you did. You framed an innocent man and his nephew kid.